Hello, good morning, America, and Dr. Jen. My name is Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I am extremely excited to have this opportunity to share a little bit about my story and my experiences with living alcohol free since 2012. I would also like to just share a little bit about who I am. So, you know a little bit of my background. My name is Dr. Nicole Eastman. I graduated from Michigan State University College of Osteopathic Medicine as a DO back in 2010. Prior to that, I worked at many gyms, including Lifetime Fitness, as a certified personal trainer and group fitness instructor. And before that, I earned my degree in psychology from Wayne State in Detroit, Michigan. So I've had quite a well-rounded experience talking about health and wellness. One of the most important things for me in terms of choosing a life of sobriety came after having a near fatal accident, which occurred 2 weeks after I married my husband on December 15th, 2010. Following that accident, which occurred 2 weeks after we were married, I came to the lowest points in my journey, and I chose, rather than to give up, I chose to take a journey of healing. And during that journey of healing, I have learned many, many lessons, and some of the lessons that were most important, three of the top lessons that I learned along this journey was, one, I survived because I have a purpose. So everybody living and breathing here has a purpose. I had never thought about life in that way before. Another lesson that I learned was that in order to most effectively help others heal, I had to first help myself. That was a big lesson for me. And a third lesson that was incredibly important along my journey was that I am worthy. I am worthy of the love that I give to other people. And I think when you take on an experience like this, any sort of lifestyle change, when you take on something where you're going to receive resistance from other people who might not understand, or they might have to then look at their own behavior and their own choices, I think it's really important to realize that you're worthy of the love that you give to other people. And I know, Dr. Jen, you talked about being able to be sober during your pregnancy. I can relate to that. My last alcoholic beverage was on the night that I got pregnant with my son Jack, who is now 5. But through my accident and through my journey of healing, I had to come in terms of wanting to live my best life possible and to have the best quality of life possible. I had to make choices that reflected self-love, and I had to learn that that wasn't a selfish choice either. That was really important for me. A couple of the tools that were incredibly effective for me along my journey were positive affirmations, saying sentences like, I am worthy, or any encouraging, positive, uplifting statement that you can put somewhere where you see it on a regular basis to keep you motivated. Another incredibly important and crucial step for me was my faith. My faith has given me strength, and it's given me the foundation to carry on and push forward when there's been times of temptation or peer pressure, because peer pressure is real. I was led to live an expat life now in Grand Cayman, Cayman Islands, although I'm from Michigan, and the culture here is heavily drinking oriented. And being a non-drinking individual here, it's really important for me to reflect and to allow other people realize why I'm doing this. Ultimately, this choice is about me, and it doesn't say anything about anybody else's choices. I think some people feel judged when you take this step to a healthier life, but you have to realize who you're doing this for. You have to realize why you're making this choice. And a couple things that could be helpful, and what has been helpful to me, is writing and journaling. Through my journey, I ended up writing a book. I've written a workshop. I've written a keynote. And going through this has allowed me to, one, express myself, and that's allowed me then to help serve other people through my writing so other people don't feel alone. The online support community was very helpful to me along my journey. When I was in my darkest moments and I felt all alone, the online support community helped me realize that I wasn't alone, and I found other people who understood why it was that I was taking the steps that I was taking to live a better life. I read somebody said that 30 days isn't hard, but I disagree. I think in the beginning, I think that's the hardest. I think once you've developed a lifestyle, once you've got past making it a habit, I think that an extended time is less of a challenge. It is easier for me to say no to an alcoholic beverage today than it was 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, 4 years ago, including when there were times of peer pressure. So that's important. I think in terms of replacing habits, when as a doctor, you tell your patients if you're going to stop smoking that starting a walking program is effective in helping. And it's really about replacing a unhealthy habit with something that's healthier for you. Maybe you want to take up art, or you want to take up dancing, or you want to write like I wrote. Journal your experience, journal every day, journal your thoughts and your feelings. You may come to understand that that was a coping mechanism. The drinking could have been a coping mechanism for underlying pain that hasn't been addressed. So that may then allow you to properly address other issues that could be holding you back from living your best life possible. I have a couple notes, and I just want to make sure I cover everything that I was thinking of. Oh, one thing that I told my personal training clients too is that if you fall short, then you just get back up. You know, just like with personal training, if you end up having something unhealthy to eat, you're not automatically a failure. It's just let's start again and keep moving forward. Ultimately, through my journey, what's most important to me is to live my best life possible, to make the most out of my second chance at life. I think about preventative medicine. I think about family members of mine who ended up not having the longevity of life that they could potentially have had because of choices that they made in life that weren't conducive to living the longest life that they could possibly have lived. And that was very eye-opening to me from a very young age. And ultimately, I think of my quality of life. What type of mom do I want to be to my kids? How can I live in the fullness? How can I use all of my experiences, my education, and all of my gifts most effectively? And making the personal choice to remove alcohol from my life has allowed me to have mental clarity that I didn't necessarily have when I look back on my life before I made this choice. So that, in a nutshell, are the lessons and the encouragement that I want to pass on to you, Dr. Jen. I think what you are doing is amazing. I'm so grateful to see this receive media coverage and to help other people realize that they have a choice, that they don't have to fall to peer pressure, and that they deserve to live their best life possible too. And I hope that this serves you well. I hope this serves the Good Morning America audience well. And again, I am so grateful for this opportunity to share part of my journey with you and to share some of my experiences with you. And I hope that it serves to make a positive difference in this world. Thank you so much. Have a great start to sobriety.